Hey ladies, hey, welcome to this week's Monday Mantra Express. Thank you so much for joining me. Let's get to it. Today I'm going to give you 3 tips on how to be more efficient with your time. All right, so we all have the same 24 hours in the day. People get things done. And how can we do the same, right? So I want to pass on to you some things that I have learned. And as women, we wear a million different hats. You know, we work, we like a job outside the home, we work in the home. We are moms, we are daughters, we are wives, we are volunteers. We do all sorts of things and we want to do them well, right? And all of us only have 24 hours in a day, but we absolutely can get things done and still have time for ourselves and still, have some leisure time here or there. And the cool thing is when we really are efficient with our time and we work hard and we're productive throughout the week or on certain days, then our off time feels that much more rewarding. It feels that much better because we know that we just rocked it out. So it's that's what people say, they work hard, play hard, because you just can have almost this I earned it, kind of a feeling when you've worked really hard and you've been productive throughout the days that you did plan on working. So let's talk about though how you're going to fit this in, how you're going to be efficient for time. So 3 tips that I have to give you, and there's many more, but these are just 3 that I'm going to share with you here today because it is an express video. All right, so first one is to really look at start paying attention while you're at work or while you're with your kids or while you're doing your Mary Kay. Start to look at where are you wasting time. So for example, where are you when are you doing things, or what are you doing that is too much? You're doing too much. Let me give you an example. I'm not explaining this very well. Because you may be thinking, I'm not wasting any time. I used to think that when I was teaching. All right, I used to be a teacher, special education teacher. There's a ton of paperwork, a ton of conferences, ton of work, okay? So I used to think when I started Mary Kay, I don't know how I'm going to fit this all in, because we had to be at work by 7. I wouldn't get home till 5 or 6 o'clock at night. I actually started Mary Kay 2 months after I married my husband, so I had a new husband I wanted to come home to. And because of Mary Kay and because of my new husband, I wanted to start getting home earlier. So I started all of a sudden becoming aware of ways that I was actually wasting time at school. And I did not think I was wasting time. I seriously thought I was on it at school. But then what I realized, I was doing things like this. I was looking up lesson plans. If you're a teacher now, you might look them up on Pinterest, but I would Google something, Google something that I needed. And I would look at 5 different websites, 5 different ideas for this same lesson. And it was no, I only needed to look at, just pick one, just maybe 1, maybe 2, or just go to the first one or glance at it. If I didn't like it, move on. But I would kind of really look through, I might find one that I liked, but I think, oh, maybe there's a better one. Maybe you've done that on Pinterest before. Okay, so that I could totally cut time out and just pick something. Also, I would maybe be looking for a picture to put onto a worksheet, or I'd be creating a worksheet, or I would be creating something on my website that I have for my class. And I'd be changing fonts and being oh, let's try this color. No, it's a little bit, doesn't quite match that, coordinate with this other color. So I'd be changing all these things. That's not quite the picture that I want. Let me look, and maybe there's a better one. I look for different, and all of a sudden I realized my students just pick a font. They don't care. Okay, so just pick a font, pick a picture, slap it on there. You know what I mean? So I started realizing that I was doing things like that throughout my day. Obviously, if you are on Facebook a lot, if you're on Instagram a lot, Twitter a lot, you can definitely see how that can waste time, or you have a game on an app that you're on a lot. Another way that sometimes we waste time in Mary Kay is we'll go through a lot of different directors' Mary Kay websites and start to think, oh, I'll try this. Oh, I'll try this. Oh, I'll try this. And you all of a sudden start to see all these different hostess plans, all these different set sheets. It's no, just pick one and go with it and get really good at that one thing. So just start to kind of look at, where in your day are you wasting time? Does that make more sense? And just you may be like how I was and think, I'm not. But I just encourage you to just start to be aware of that. Just be aware of what it is that you're doing throughout your day, that you could just be stop messing around. Okay, I even have done that before. If you're like a stay-home mom, I've done that before with like trying to choose a recipe, trying to choose what, like you're going to the grocery store like every day. I used to do that. I used to go to the grocery store like every day. Instead, now I make one grocery list on Sundays, and I go to the grocery store one time. I sometimes end up going like towards the end of the week just to stock up on milk and juice or something, but I pretty much just go one day a week. So those are like little places and little things that we're doing that we're just wasting time. Okay, number 2, to be efficient with our time. Number 2 is to focus on just one thing at a time. So no multitasking. Focus on one thing at a time. So right now, are you watching this video and clicking on Facebook and looking at your phone and trying to do something with your kids? All right, so focusing on one thing at a time is going to actually save you time. When I first heard this, I was like really proud of the fact that I was the queen of multitasking. I'm like, I can do like a million things at the same time, get it all done. And you know, sometimes we do, like as moms, like we have to multitask, but when it comes to really just doing our best job and retaining information, we want to be focused. We want to be focused on one thing at a time and complete that task before we do another task. So for example, just to show you how actually multitasking wastes time. Do you know that? Multitasking wastes time. Just to give you an example, the other day and this is just like inevitable if you're a mom, it's a funny example. I was trying to get ready to go out the door with my 2 kids, and I would like wash my face. I was going to wash my face and put on my makeup. I'd like wash my face, no moisturizer or anything, just like wash it, and then I'd have to like put my baby girl's pacifier back in her mouth because she'd be crying. Like, okay, she's kind of settled. Then I put my moisturizer or my day solution on my moisturizer, and then I'd hear my son being like, "Mommy, I need some more juice." I was like, run into the kitchen, give him some juice. Okay, then I would be like, foundation. Abigail's crying again. Okay, so I'd help her. One eyeshadow, like one color, one eyeshadow, one eye. And I'm not kidding, like that was how the whole morning was. Some of you know what I'm talking about. And it took me like, for me to get ready, because of all the multitasking, it took what normally might take like 10 minutes, 15 minutes, seriously took me almost an hour and a half. Sometimes I had to like, juggle, Abigail until she like settled down, not juggle, but you know what I mean? Like, bounce her around or like get her pacifier and like hold her for a while. I mean, it just like took forever. So I was like, oh my goodness, multitasking, trying to do a bunch of things at once, even though I was like getting Josiah's lunch and getting these things done, like little things done, just like everything was taking forever long, and it was way more stressful. So if we can just focus on one thing at a time, we're going to make a lot more progress in that thing. So when it comes to your Mary Kay business, when you're listening to a speaker, when you're at a conference, you're listening to some training, try not to multitask. Try to really just like sit there and take notes so you can retain the information. You don't have to go back and re-listen to it, or you haven't missed things. You're focused and you're listening and you're able to really take it all in. So focusing on one thing at a time, no multitasking, really does help you to have more efficient time. And number 3, lastly, is to use time management tools. Oh my goodness, we have too many things going on in our life to keep it all up here. So we definitely need some of our Mary Kay tools, such as your weekly plan sheet, right? So you want to be using this. You probably all have learned about it. And are you using it? Like, are you doing it? We also have things. I do one of these every Sunday. I really do. This week I actually did it on Saturday because my schedule, how it worked out. I knew I needed to do it on Saturday, and I put it up on my refrigerator so my husband can see it too. And I put in first like our family things, church things, whatever, and then I put in my Mary Kay and see what, when my husband volunteers at our church one night a week. So I kind of figure all that out and put it on the weekly plan sheet and then put it on the refrigerator. Also, another tool that we have, and this is from a really old date book, so sorry it's old, but you can see it's from 2009. So we also have our 6 most important things to do list. If you have one of these date books, you really do have a weekly plan sheet right here in the date book. And then also up here, a list for your 6 most important things to do. And I do that every night before I go to bed. Sometimes I actually do it like in my date book, but sometimes I just take a sticky note. You know, I just take a sticky note and I write it on a sticky note. I actually have mine around here somewhere now, but I think it's in my date book. But anyway, I write it out before I go to bed so that when I wake up in the morning, I'm ready to go. I don't have time, and my brain is going a million miles a minute, you know, with kids and myself getting ready and all that stuff. I have things to do already when I wake up in the morning, and so I don't have time to sit down and think through what I need to do that day, and I certainly don't have like the brain capacity. I hope I'm not the only one who has that problem. But that's why before I go to bed, the kids are in bed, everything's settled, and I'll just take, like, seriously, it takes 30 seconds, and I'll just write out what it is that I need to do for that next day. And we kind of stick with 6 because more than 6, it can start to feel overwhelming. But it's going to be things for Mary Kay and things that are for personal life. So that's 3 tips on what I do to have more efficient time. So 1, look where you're wasting time. Kind of start to be aware of it throughout your day and like tighten it up. And then 2, focus on one thing at a time, no multitasking. And 3, use time management tools. They really do work. Don't just talk about it, but use them.